Lexington is highlighting efforts to prevent domestic violence.
Joining us now to tell us more is Fayette County Attorney Angela Evans. Welcome. We're so glad to have you. Tell us about some of your efforts to combat domestic violence.
Yeah, well, my office in particular we have 4 victims advocates, and they do focus on domestic violence. And so most of the domestic violence charges that come through the court system are assault fourth cases. And those are strictly, they're still misdemeanors, you know, unfortunately. So we get a large bulk of the domestic violence cases right in district court, and that's again handled by my office. But we have 4 victims advocates. All of them have masters in social work, so they love this work, and 2 of them have been there for nearly 20 years or so. So again, what we do as part of our job is one, to make sure victims know what their rights are, what the court system process is, walk them through that, and more importantly, make sure that they know that there are resources out there for them as victims, that, you know, to make sure that they have a safety plan in place if they need it, and to know that, again, there are resources that the community has, you know, if and when they're ready to leave the situation, and then just, again, other emotional support and systems that are out there in the community for victims of domestic violence.
How often do you all see people who don't even realize that those resources are there, and that once they're directed to them, they kind of realize, oh, this is something that's going to help me?
Yeah, I think that's a daily occurrence, unfortunately, because again, domestic violence is not discriminatory. You know, people can find themselves in that situation and don't know what to do, and maybe didn't even acknowledge or realize that they were a victim of domestic violence. And then certainly in the court system, just it's a very overwhelming situation. So if you don't know, if you haven't experienced that, if you don't know someone that's experienced it, then maybe you don't know where those resources are. And then sometimes people just don't seek them out because, again, they're afraid. There's shame in being a victim. And so we want to help alleviate that. So that's part of what our victims advocates do as well, to take that shame away and the stigma, to let them know that no one has a right to harm you.
What are some of the resources that y'all promote?
Well, again, safety plans, and, you know, knowing that there are shelters for people who want to leave that situation, that there are crisis lines, you know, even if they feel like they might be in a safe space but just don't want contact with that person, knowing that there are just options to still have a relationship with that person, but not perhaps intimate, and then perhaps not, to make sure it's not violent. So again, it's just a lot of the community resources, you know, the shelters, crisis line, hotlines, housing, things like that, where they know where they can go, and then and even talking groups, you know, support groups throughout the community, to know that there are places where they can go and share their experiences, and again, when they're ready to leave, that there are places that they can go and things that they can do. And so just to know that they're not alone.
I was going to say, just knowing that someone is there when they need that help. All right, we've got the number there on the screen. Thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.